Hi there, I'm Bruce Harders, and this is Voices in the Village. Today we have with us John Hubert, fellow that's been around the village for some time, and you've probably seen him if you've ever gone into the PC room. He's been there a lot. That's how I met him. And I thought, the other day I said to myself, you know, we ought to talk to John about PC and all this good stuff. And then as we started talking, I found out that he used to be in the wine business. And that sounds like a really interesting topic. So John, thanks a lot for dropping by, and welcome to Voices in the Village.
Well, thank you, Bruce.
Let's get the PC thing out of the way. What do you do in the PC room, or the club itself?
Well, I'm vice president of the PC club.
Oh, you're a big wheel.
And I am the manager of the PC workshop on the third floor.
I see. So every once in a while, I see you where I go and sit at a PC. What are you doing when you're in that room?
What, in the learning center?
No, where the regular computers are, and people like me are sitting there playing with a computer.
Well, we have supervisors that are all volunteers. None of them work for PCM, and they manage the They are there to help residents on anything they want with a PC. So if you can't remember how to log into Gmail, they'll help you. If you're trying to format something in Word to print, they will help you.
Gotcha.
And the club provides the volunteers, and we put in about 66,000 hours a year between the workshop, the learning center, which we teach classes at, and then also running the monthly meetings of the club.
That's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours, and it's a lot of savings to the village.
Fantastic. How long have you been in the village now?
About 5 years now. We inherited our manor from my mother. We came here because she got sick, and we took care of her, and then we'd actually been full-timing in a motorhome since we retired, traveling around the United States, living in a motorhome. And
that gets tiring after a while, doesn't it? No?
Never. You don't like someplace, you just move to the next place.
That's true.
Don't like your neighbor?
But you had a wife that was willing to change locations, so that's not an average thing to do either.
Well, it can be very difficult, but you know, the one thing about RVers is most of them are in the same situation. They don't have real roots when they're traveling. So they're very open to new friendships, new camaraderie.
A lot of advantages.
I tell you, want to meet somebody, you just open the hood of your RV, and 10 people will come by. Oh, what's wrong? Can I help you?
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, I think there are a lot of people in this village that acquired their location as a result of a death of a
That's very true. My mother was here for 27 years and loved it.
Yeah.
It was, and it was a good solution for us because we lived in Northern California at the time. And then, like I said, we were traveling.
Right.
And we never had to worry about her having a clogged toilet or something like that.
Right.
And so it was a real benefit for us.
Well, fantastic. So you're a California boy, basically.
I am. I was born in Downey, California.
And grew up pretty much there?
Grew up there.
And went to college in California?
Yeah, that's correct.
And right out of college, what did you do then?
I started working in the wine industry.
And you went to work for a big winery?
I did, and I started carrying a bag and calling on stores in Orange County.
Were you calling on like grocery stores? Or
grocery stores and liquor stores. It was back in the 70s, wine was what they call fair trade. So it didn't matter where you bought the product, it was always the same price.
Right. So in your 100 years in the wine business,
feels that way.
Yeah, you've seen so many changes.
Oh,
I mean, you've seen, I was mentioning to you earlier, I mean, you can't drive anywhere in the United States and not see a winery or, you know, some grapes being grown somewhere that you never expected.
Yeah, there's actually wineries in every state in the United States, including Alaska.
Really? Do they grow grapes up there?
They grow grapes in Alaska, and they also make fruit wine in Alaska.
Is that right?
I don't know if you've ever seen the pictures in Alaska. You know, a head of lettuce can be 3 foot across because they're long daylight hours. The same with apples and peaches.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. Well, being with a large winery, I'm sure are there fewer or more wineries out there today than there were when you started out?
There's more.
There's
definitely
more.
more.
What, a lot of small ones?
Well, what happens is a lot of people make a lot of money in Silicon Valley or in the entertainment industry, and they say, gee, I always wanted to make wine. They don't realize how hard it is.
Right.
But so there's a lot of new wealth that have bought wineries and started wineries.
Now, do a lot of these wineries actually make money?
No.
So it's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
I know up in the Silicon Valley area, it's not strange to find out where somebody had a house with a lot of acreage and started growing grapes on the property. You see a lot of that.
You see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, when the land around San Francisco got expensive, they used to grow a lot of grapes in San Jose. They used to grow a lot of grapes in Livermore and that area. And the land was so valuable, they really couldn't afford to grow grapes on it anymore. So they worked with UC Davis to find another area they could grow quality grapes on, and Monterey County became that area.
Right.
And so if you go down into the Central Coast from Monterey County down into Paso Robles and Santa Maria and San Luis Obispo, there's thousands of acres of grapes there now that weren't there 20 years ago.
Is California one of the biggest providers of grapes in the country?
Yes, California is the largest. The second is Washington, up in the state of Washington.
Well, I guess a lot of us have the idea that everything's happening in Napa or somewhere up in that neck of the woods, but that's not the case, is it?
No, it's good marketing.
Right.
Good marketing. A lot of great wines come out of the Central Coast, and a lot of great wines come out of like Oregon and Washington also.
As you've looked at the wine industry developing, what have been some of the biggest surprises to you of things that have happened that you would have never expected 20 years ago, as an example?
That's hard to narrow down, but one of the things is the diversity of labels. You see a lot of labels on the shelf today.
You sure
do. You go into Costco or Ralph's, and you'll see 200 different labels. What most of the consumers don't realize, those 200 labels are probably controlled by 5 companies.
I see.
For the most part.
Well, you were mentioning that Costco is one of the largest, the largest seller of
in
wine
the United States.
In the whole United States.
Right. And they only carry about 120 SKUs, which is the number of individual shelf-keeping units they have.
Well, I know as I was growing up, wine, I always thought there was a lot of people feeling impressed with themselves and the wine they drank and talking to others that knew about wine and that kind of a thing. Is that's still going on?
That's got worse.
That's gotten worse?
Yeah. Everybody wants to discover a new wine that is head and shoulders above another wine for about the same price and tell all their friends.
Right.
We used to call it a discovery or treasure hunt.
Well, you were mentioning earlier when we were talking that it's not uncommon for, I go into the grocery store, I'm looking for a Merlot, but my favorite Merlot's not there, and I see another one, and it's on sale, and I try it, and I bring it home. I'm thinking all Merlots taste the same. Merlot is Merlot. But that's not the case, is it?
They range based on alcohol content. Some Merlots are 11% alcohol.
Right.
Some go up to 14% alcohol. That affects the taste.
That's quite
some of them are oak aged, some of them are not. And it all depends and what they're blended with. 90% of Merlot is Merlot, but the other 10% can be Thompson Seedless, or it can be something that enhances the flavor like Petit Verdot or Cabernet Sauvignon.
Right. One thing I've noticed as just a common ordinary consumer is the evolvement of a box of wine versus what used to be just bottles. What do you think of that?
Well, there's like 2 levels of quality in box wines. You have the big 5-liter boxes that are not very good quality. They're a little on the sweeter side. If you're drinking those, you like a little sweeter flavor to your wines. Then there are the smaller ones that are basically 3 liters, and like Black Box and Vim Vault. Those particular brands put quality wine in the boxes. And the big advantage of boxes is that you can set it in your refrigerator or on your counter, and it's not going to deteriorate. So the cost per ounce is less, and it's perfect for people here in the village that want a glass of wine every day with dinner or before dinner, but don't want to have to throw wine away from a bottle that turns bad. Wine has a tendency to go bad in about a week to 10 days.
Now, the medical community has generally said that a glass or 2 of wine a day is not such a bad idea. Is that true?
That's true. That's true. 60 Minutes did the French. They tried to figure out why the French people eat cream and drink wine, and yet they don't have cholesterol. And the main reason is the wine they found. You know.
Well, it sounds like we all have a good reason to follow wine, pick some good wines, and drink enough of it every day to satisfy the medical community. You know, John, we've hardly touched the surface on wine. We're going to have you come back again, because there is so much to talk about in the wine industry, where it's been, where it is, and where it's going. But in the meantime, thanks for dropping by. And for you out there, thank you so much for coming by. I'm Bruce Harders, and this has been Voices in the Village. See you again soon. Bye-bye.